And the Phillies pull out yet another nail-biting win. Woo! Went into Steinbrenner Stadium, put in the work, and beat them freaking Yankees. So happy we got to do that in their home stadium. We had the Philly chants going on, had the Eagles chants going on. Yankee fans were hating it. It was a little chilly down here today, only 58 degrees in the shade, 61 in the sun. So it made that win so much sweeter, having to quote-unquote freeze a little bit. But, you know, still a beautiful day for baseball. The bats really livened up today, guys. Going from Wednesday when we played the Red Sox, only had 3 hits. Today, they just opened up the floodgates. Had 11 hits today. Andrew Knapp called a great game again. I've been really impressed with his defense behind the plate. Threw out yet another runner from behind home plate. That was great. His arm looks lively. He was 2 for 3 behind the at the plate too. He had a single and a double, so he's really seen the ball well. I think he really should be our opening day starting catcher. You know, unless Alfaro shows us something. But defensively, I think you got to give it to Knapp. He's just looked a lot better calling games. He really hasn't had any pass balls. I think he's controlling the pitching staff really well. Ben Lively started today. He looked good for the first 3 innings, then he got in a little bit of trouble. 2 outs, he was ahead of the hitter, he walked the guy, and then boom, just like that, snap of the finger, he let up 4 runs. It was brutal. He only had 1 strikeout, but he also is fighting for a spot like Jake Thompson, Zach Eflin, these guys that we've accumulated over the years that we're trying to figure out where they're going to be in the rotation. Are they mid-level guys? Are they back-of-the-end starters? Are they even going to make it into the bullpen? So they're all fighting for a viable spot on opening day. You know, I think he could definitely be maybe a long man. I don't know if he could be a 5th starter. I think we have to give that to Eshelman from what I've seen, because just like the rest of them, we've seen them do really well, and then one little thing goes wrong, and they let up 4 or 5 runs, and it just inflates their ERA. He doesn't have really explosive stuff. Mid-to-range fastball, like low 90s. There's not a pitch that really jumps off the page at you. It's all pretty average. You know, his change, he has no curve, no slider really. I know he's trying to work a change and a slider into his repertoire. Just saw a lot of fastballs today, split fingers. So if he continues to work, he did really good for the first couple innings. That's why I think he'd be better suited to be a long man. But the bats today, like I said, Tommy Joseph went 2 for 3. We have such a stoppage at first base. It's like you got Tommy Joseph, you got Carlos Santana. We know Reese plays over there. But it's all about analytics and what Gabe wants to do, where he wants to place guys. One thing I'll point out, what I've noticed since being down here, is he's always moving pieces throughout every inning and even in between batters. We've seen him go out there and switch outfielders, switch spots back and forth after certain pitches. I mean, it's masterful to see. It's like chess out there. He just sees the moves before it happens, but his defense has been incredible to where he sets the guys. I mean, we were down 6-1 going into the 6th inning, and we rallied, came back, and then Gabe put the certain pieces in there, and all the shifts were right on point. I mean, they just hit it right to the second baseman, or the pop fly where the defense was shifted out in, you know, right or left field. It's really nice to see. So I hope this really continues throughout the regular season. I know we're going to see this during the regular season. It's just funny. Every little thing, he's just picking guys to move. I mean, whether it's lefty on left, or he feels better with Roman Quinn out there in shortstop. It's a lot of moving pieces. Now, to get back to the game on Wednesday, I wanted to do a vid. I didn't get a chance to. It was rough. It was a rough outing for the bats. The offense was really sluggish. JP had a really tough game, not only at the plate, but also in the field. He had 2 errors back-to-back. He overthrew a bag, trying to do a double play, and then he dove for one at the shift, and it bounced right off the heel of his glove, went into the outfield. JP is known for his defense, as we've seen. I think he's an incredible defensive shortstop. What needs work is the bat. He's really aggressive. He did get the winning run, though. It was a routine pop fly right in the infield. I mean, right in front of the pitcher's mound. There was 3 guys, the third baseman, the catcher, and a pitcher. And they all just looked at each other, and it fell right down. Nicky Williams was on second. He ran full speed around third and headed into home, and that's why you always run hard. Whether it's a routine pop fly, an infield fly, it doesn't matter. You always just want to gun it out because you don't know what happens. Sun can get in the eyes. Wind can blow the ball out of position. That's why you always just run hard. And it paid off for Nicky Williams. It was great base running in his part because that should have been an easy out. So that's how we got the 2-1 lead and we shut it out and won. Like I said, 3 hits. It was rough. It was just not good. But I'm glad we got the win against Boston, and then we got to beat the Yankees today. Now I will say, Aaron Nola, this kid has looked great. The past 3 years I've come down here, amazing. We know he's got the stuff to do it. He's not going to overpower you with his pitches. He has pinpoint precision with working the outside, either outside or inside of the plate. He likes to hit the corners. And he was really working it. I mean, he mowed down 5 guys like it was nothing. He just pitched great. I'm happy he's the opening day starter. If he could stay healthy. He's amped up his fastball. He's up around 95 miles an hour. But he can change arm angles easily when he's throwing it. He's got a lot of junk pitches with his change and his curve. The curve looked masterful. Like, I just wish I could have taken clips and put it in the video for you guys, but it's just he was working every pitch he could. His change looked good, his curve, his fastball. I mean, it gets you really excited because he's going to be our #1 starter, and it's if we can get maybe some vets in here like the Arrietas, or there's been some rumors floating around that we go after Alex Cobb down there in Tampa Bay. We were hoping we would make a trade with Tampa Bay to get Cobb. We didn't, or even Chris Archer. There was a possibility of a trade rumor going after Garrett Cole up there in Pittsburgh, but didn't happen. Somebody else traded for him. I just can't remember off the top of my head who it was. But, it gets you excited that he was taken high, 7th overall, and you've seen the potential he had. He got him out of college, and usually those guys fly through the minor leagues, which he did because he's a little bit more experienced than the high school players. I think we have something special here. I don't want to say he's Cole Hamels, but I think he could become that type of top echelon talent like that with Aaron Nola. Just mowed through guys. I mean, you didn't have to worry at all. You didn't have to worry about the defense being shifted. Now, the bullpen, on the other hand, that's where you kind of bite your nails. Now, that was going to be one of our strengths coming into the season. What I've seen so far from a couple guys, we've got the savvy vet out there. We're giving K-Rod a try. He hasn't looked too bad. He can bring veteran leadership. Hopefully he's just not going off and beating women and children and doing all the scummy stuff he did before. I think Gabe Gaffner can really rein him in. Maybe he's a little bit older, more mature. But he's looked good. I really like Anthony Dominguez. This kid can throw some heat. I mean, live arm out there, 98 miles an hour. You got Yaxiel Rios. Sorry if I'm butchering the name. Don't know how that goes. But he got hurt today, but he's really a kid that can throw some heat too. 97 mile an hour. Our prospects all down below and our pitching prospects, they all can throw in the high to above 90s, close to 100. We've got Sixto Sanchez who can throw over 100, 101. Still a little young. He's not up here yet. Franklin Kilome is another guy. Big, lanky kid that can throw some heat. I haven't seen him. Beato's been out there. He's been nothing special. We got this Zach Curtis kid, long hair, kind of Syndergaard. That's got the really long hair. I mean, he doesn't have the talent of Syndergaard, but he's been pretty solid. Zach Cunningham pitched a great outing the other night to shut it out, or Wednesday, not the other night, Wednesday during the day for Aaron Nola. So if we can get these guys together, if they continue their great pitching like they have down here in Clearwater, I mean, it's so early to say, you don't know. We've seen guys have great spring trainings and they completely fall apart. You know, like our substitute first baseman last year, and he's now with the Twins. But, you know, Franco has looked pretty solid at the plate. He's getting better. He's hitting the ball really hard. It's a big year for him. And Kingery, we have to really look hard at getting Kingery to start or somewhere, because he's too good to be wasting away down in with the Pigs. Try to move Cesar. I like Cesar. It's been a solid piece for us for a couple years. We were waiting for our young talent to come up, like JP, like Kingery, you know, Nicky Williams, Aaron Altair. He's had a decent outing too, Aaron Altair. He went 1 for 3 today. But Kingery's got to get on the field, not only defensively, but at the plate. He's hitting .350. The guy just knows how to get on base. He lives, eats, sleeps baseball. He needs to get out there. He's like a mini Pedroia. I want to try to move Cesar as fast as possible. He's barely making any money, and he's just holding it up. It's just like when we had Ryan Howard down there waiting in the minor leagues, and we had Tommy blocking him. Well, I don't want the same situation to happen. We got to get this kid up here. He can win us ball games. He can get on base. For our sluggers then, like Reese, who's really struggled so far. He didn't play again today. But you want guys like that, and it's speed on the base path too. Defensively, he's a monster. This guy is not going to fill Utley's shoes, but he could be the second coming of like a Chase Utley in that talent. He can defend. He can hit homers. You know, get on base, high percentage OPS. We really got to figure this out, Gabe. I know he's all about analytics and giving each player a chance, shifting, whatever. If you have to stick him out at third sometimes, or a shortstop, or if JP really isn't handling it, we got to get Kingery up here. Nick Williams has looked good. We have a freaking plethora of outfielders. Cousins has looked pretty rough. He got a hit today, which was good to see. I hope he continues this, but I think he could definitely be on the trading block because we have such a plethora of outfielders. Again, we have Adam Hazley still down there, Mickey Moniak, Cornelius Randolph. All these guys can't play. There's only 3 outfield spots. So that could be in play to get a pitcher like a Chris Archer or a Cobb or whoever we really have our eyes on. So that's for Clentac and the boys upstairs to kind of figure out. But Roman Quinn is another kid. Looked really good today. Made an amazing catch out in center field. I mean, to have him play shortstop, it's a sin. We have to have his legs out there, out in the outfield. He can cover a lot of ground. And if Abdul gets into a slump, then we just insert Roman Quinn. It's just, can you rely on him to stay healthy? So far, so good. Knock on wood. Kids look great at the plate. He sees, pitches really well. He doesn't chase anything out of the zone. There's still guys I'd like to keep an eye on, though, is Jorge Alfaro. I hope he plays the next 2 games that I'm down here to see if he can handle a pitching staff. If Chooch doesn't retire within the next year or 2, we have to bring him in to mentor young Jorge Alfaro, to get him with the soft hands. I mean, we know he's got a gun behind the plate. Maybe he can help him with plate discipline. Just to have that veteran presence. But Chooch just knew how to handle a pitching staff. The guy was amazing. He's my favorite catcher in Phillies history, next to Dutch Dalton, that I got to see play a little bit. But we got to get Choochie on this roster and coaching these young kids, definitely. And I hope Utley finally retires. If he wants to leave sunny L.A. to come coach here with the Phillies, he'd be beloved. But Kingery, I don't need to see anything more from Kingery. He's done everything he possibly can to get a roster spot, so that's up to the boys upstairs to make that decision. But I still want to keep an eye on Alfaro, for sure. Is Maikel Franco going to be solidified at third base there? Because we got the Manny Machado watch, too. It all depends on his bat. It does. He's hitting the ball hard, but it's all between those two. And Tommy Eshelman, he looked great in that first start I saw here. The only game that I've seen that we lost so far. We're 4-1 down here. I'm hoping I'm bringing them good luck. We're 2 games away from 500. But I want to see some more Tommy Eshelman and the young kids in the bullpen. See, Anthony Dominguez deserves a shot. I've seen him pitch 3 games. The kid is a straight baller out there. That nobody can catch up to his fastball. He takes a little bit off of it. He's got a nice curve to really confuse the hitters, but that fastball is lively. So I'd like to see him in the bullpen this year. But if you guys have been watching the Phillies, any comments, concerns, anybody you really have an eye on that you think should be up with the big club this year, down in the minor leagues? Or are you nervous about anybody? Do you think Aaron Nola is deserving of the #1 pitching spot? Is he deserving of being the #1 starter on opening day? I think he is. Even if Arrieta does get here, it's Nola's team. It's his pitching staff to lead. And do you feel like Jake Thompson should be put in the bullpen this year? Is Velasquez a guy that they should really trade? Or should he be moved maybe even to closer? Because we don't have a closer right now. Is it going to be Hector Neris? He struggled a little bit last year. I don't know if he has the stuff, the intensity. He's a nice setup guy, but I don't think he's our closer. That's a big question mark for me. I don't know who they're going to close. Gabe could just leave it open. It's going to be positionless baseball here with Gabe Kapler and the analytics. I'm not going to question the guy. He learned from the best with Joe Madden. Dude is a god, baseball genius. So we'll have to see. It's been exciting spring training down here, and please bring the heat back, baby. It's going to be 66 degrees, I think, tomorrow at the high. Start of the game's only going to be 63. I know it doesn't seem cold when we're back home, but it's freezing down here when it's like that, guys. I don't know what it is. It's the wind. It's the northeast wind or northwest, whatever it is. It brings a chill and cuts right through you. So bring that weather back. And I'm hoping when I do come home, I bring the heat back with us. But it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon, y'all. So y'all stay frosty up there. Stay warm. Stay cool. And I'll be filling you in with the Phillies. All right, Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. I'm out. Peace.